Hello again, Earth Defenders. I wanted to briefly talk about the new weapons system in EDF 5 and the new item system as well. I don't know about you, but I love games like Diablo 3 where the loot is very interesting and it's fun to try and collect new weapons, more powerful weapons, interesting weapons. EDF 5 isn't quite there yet, but it's actually on its way a little bit. Let me talk a little bit about the weapons here. For example, let's take Fencer here. Now when a weapon drops, it has a level attached to it, just like before in previous EDF games. As you can see, like this is level 0, level 3, level 16, up there where it shows the number next to it. But if you see next to it, there's also a star number. And now when weapons drop, they have a star attached to each of the stats. So for example, let's take this weapon right here. If you look down the bottom right, you'll see like a 20, that's the magazine size. Well, there's a 5 star next to that. And then a 4 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, an example. So now when a weapon drops, it'll have a star attached to that stat. And now when you collect it again, the same weapon again, it'll increase some or one or some of those star stats next to it, and until eventually it'll max out. So, for example, you see the first stat is a 5 star and it's a solid star. Well, solid star means it's maxed out, so that particular stat will not go higher than a 5 star. But each stat can go to different various maxes. So for example, like there's one here that has like a 10 star max or a 7 star max on the bottom there, S++. So each stat can be maxed out different numbers. But it takes multiple drops now for a weapon to actually get maxed out. So it's actually worthwhile collecting the same weapon again, which encourages replayability, and also just the excitement of getting a new weapon drop is actually interesting. Unlike the previous games where once you had the weapon once, there's no benefit to ever have it again. So that's a very cool thing. And also the stats are noticeable. They're not just, minor increases, like a 0.01 increase or something. It's actually substantial. For example, I had a weapon that went I think doubled in power and damage, or it was close to double. So it can make a difference, a big difference. And like for example, reload time, I went from 5 seconds down to 4 seconds. So these things can be actually noticeable increases. So that's a very cool thing. And also, there's also auxiliary items now too, where each class except Aerator has the ability to equip an item in addition to their weapons. So let's look at the Ranger here. For example, this column right here is his auxiliary items. So you can equip items that will, for example, increase his dashing speed, or increase his sprinting speed, or give him a ring around his feet to pick up items in a larger radius, or for example, this one I believe says increase the amount of health you gain from health packs. So very interesting. You can actually almost have your own build type for each class, which is definitely a new exciting thing. I mean, he, however, also has the ability to equip a vehicle instead of an auxiliary item if you choose. Wingdiver also has these items where you can increase her max energy. Like for example, this one, she has 108.6 energy, whereas this one gives her 118.7 energy. Also, you can decrease the amount of energy that the weapons cost to reload, or for example, this will increase her dash speed, or her dash distance, I think, by 25%. So you can also alter her stats in an interesting way. Aerator does not have them, but he does have an extra weapon slot. So I think that, and the ability to, as I covered in another video, to reload his air raids. So that kind of makes up for that, in my opinion. Fencer is unique in that he has 2 auxiliary items he can equip. So like each of these have different stats that they affect. For example, this column is more mobility. So like normally you just have one dash, then you have to wait a cooldown, then do the dash again. Well, for example, this item allows you to dash 3 times in a row before you have to wait that cooldown time. Or you can also increase the durability of your shield, or decrease the amount of your damage your shield takes, or can affect his walk speed, or his the penalty for when you have a heavy weapon equipped, how it slows down your aiming. where you can also equip weapons or items that that will decrease that as well. So very interesting, very interesting. It almost makes it more like a role-playing game, which is definitely a positive direction in my opinion. And very cool. I'm really happy with these changes, and I hope that they continue along the lines with this in the future as well. So anyway, I just wanted to briefly cover that, and it's definitely an exciting new change to EDF 5, and stay tuned. I'm going to keep covering the different changes that have happened to this game, which have for the most part been positive in my experience. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.